Oh, hello there. Yes. Well, we got to the weekend, and inevitably, having crashed out early on Friday night, I find myself up in the wee hours. Ah, the joys of being 60. Nah. Anyway, yes, it's time perhaps for reflection on the week, and handily the Daily Mail has given us a roundup of their view of the Conservative Party conference, which they argue perhaps magically, mysteriously, in other words that begin with M, gives us a, quotes, compelling case for the Conservatives. And being the sort of, well, nasty little boy that I am, I decided to have a look at the comments. And if you click through to the top rated comments on this article, you end up with some great ones. I'm just going to read you the top rated comments because they really are intriguing for a Daily Mail article. So, first up, with 608 and counting. Top comments. NHS on knees, schools crumbling, sewage in waters, worst cost of living crisis in generations, interest rates through roof, billions wasted in contracts during pandemic. I could go on. Not one person I know feels better off than 2010. The richest few reap the rewards whilst hard-working people suffer. It's over. They're finished, yes indeed, but obviously that's the nasty lefties going on and, making sure that that's it. So obviously the next comment must be a good one. With 401 we get delusional. And then with 367, Sunak seems to forget the British public have a memory. Yeah, something I'm very guilty of. And just scrolling down to 336, even the North Korean state media would consider an article like this a bit over the top. Yes, and the others further down are exactly like it. Now, if you're getting comments like this in the Daily Mail, I think they might reach the point at which they decide to stop doing them. But of course that won't stop them, will it? That won't stop them because they will still earnestly believe, whilst they look at the smouldering ruins around them, that magically it's somehow nothing to do with them. Which brings us perhaps very, very neatly to Connor Tomlinson, who's lost his gig in with his mates Deacon Blue and Lawrence Fox. So he's having to sort of rattle around, and he's written a piece in The Critic once again, where he's kind of flexed his kind of Bexley grammar school boy literary muscles in something that's definitely going to go into Sood's Corner, I think. I was lucky enough to leave Southeast London in the 80s. Yes, I have a memory. We'll come on to that. But I can understand the kind of stifling world that it must be to grow up in Sidcup. And but some of us actually managed to intellectually punch our way out of that and join the liberated free world. And I don't know, Connor probably never will. So let's just read the particular offending paragraph, and then I want to query something which I think is kind of indicative of this kind of rhetoric. But here we go. After hashtag 13 years, we have little left to conserve. Back to the Daily Mail, maybe. Yet the ashes of the prior paragon are fertiliser for revitalising an unapologetically patriotic polis, and more importantly, a wholesome oikos. Yes, and for those of you that don't know, that's the Greek word referencing family, home and hearth and all that sort of stuff, okay? Multiple MP, activists and media figures are advocating for making the health and integrity of British families the primary measure of the greatness of our nation again. The Conservative Party will be for turning, in which case next year's vibe could well be rebirth. Yes, indeed. Except of course it won't be. He's kind of gushing in this piece about people like Miriam Gates, but as I pointed out earlier this week, if you actually look at the social policy aspects of what Miriam Gates et al, Kruger et al are actually suggesting, you end up with a very, very Blairite pro-family agenda, which of course isn't what Connor's paymasters are going to be after. And he also writes this, which I'm afraid has aggravated me, Kelsa Breeze, a little bit. The world on our doorstep is unrecognisable to anyone born before 1997. And alienating to anyone like him, like me, born after the Gramscian success of Blairism. Now, I don't know if Connor has actually read any Gramsci, but I think what he's done here, and sorry, when I was doing my degree in the 80s, I read a lot about Gramsci because it was part of that kind of Marxism today worldview that neo-Marxists, as they were becoming in those days, were sort of coming out with. So I don't recognise anything about that in terms of Blairism. Perhaps Connor might like to explain. I have a sneaking suspicion he can't. What he's doing there is coming out with this Douglas Murray-isms, if you like, on this notion that there's something very, very sneaky going on by those of us that have read the Prison Diaries. People like me. You know, the people that make young people trans and Marxists. Probably both at the same time. Successive Conservative governments have stewarded, even accelerated this decline. Yes, we're there. They are now paying the price in the waning faith and dwindling numbers of their membership. Yeah, since forever. Nobody believes that, for the current Conservative government thinks can only get better. Yes, Connor, you're actually there, mate. But maybe not suggesting that, you know, when everything is burnt down, that you buy more flamethrowers. Still hasn't quite got that one. The Sidcup boy still isn't quite there. And let's face it, he's just not going to get there, is he? No, because he's a man that desperately wants social policy to change because he can't get a girlfriend. Anyway, that's me bitching about Connor. I feel better already. Do have a lovely Saturday, and if you fancy leaving a comment on by the Daily Mail, please do. You can write anything. It'll whiz into the top 5 quite easily. Might have a go myself. Do have a lovely day.